Alright guys, what's up? Today we're going to work on some big joints. We're going to focus on trying to open up the hips and open up the shoulders. So it's going to be a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more total body than some of our other videos where there's very specific. What I want you guys to do is go straight into a downward dog. So downward dog, feet will be about hip width to shoulder width apart. Right, and then our arms will be pressing into the sky, and all we're going to do is we're going to do kind of some lift offs here. So this is kind of almost like a dynamic downward dog into a quadruped position. So knees come all the way down, hips come all the way up, and just to kind of get these hamstrings and calves and back and shoulders in a more dynamic fashion. We're kind of flossing through this motion here. Alright, so we're just going to go 5 reps there, and all I want you guys to do now is we're going to go into an extended lizard. But now we're going to float that back knee, right? So you're going to have left leg out in front of you. You're going to have right leg behind you. But that right knee is not down. You're actually trying to extend that leg. And then what we're going to do from there is now we're going to go through some dynamic rotation for kind of the T-spine. And this is also going to feel this in the hips a lot too. So reach up. So I'm rotating only into the leg that's in front of me. And then when I rotate down, I'm going to try to sweep that hand through like I'm trying to grab something on the side of me, right? Trying to get as much, and as I'm doing this, focus on staying active on that back leg, right? Biggest mistake is relaxing that back knee. We want to try to lock it out as best we can. All right, then what I want you guys to do is now we're going to go right back into a downward dog. All right, downward dog, remember it's a very, very active position. So what I want you guys to do is think about I'm pressing through the floor with my hands, I'm pulling my hips up into the sky, I'm driving my knees back into extension. And most importantly, I'm pulling those heels down, and I should feel this stretch in the back of the calves, in the back of the hamstrings, and obviously a little bit in the lower back and things like that. And then your support is coming from your hands. So if your arms do get a little tired, don't be afraid to come down. But we won't be too long in this position. We'll go right back into the extended lizard position on the other side. Good. So stay in this downward dog. Focus on your breath. Remember your breath, the inhale should feel like I'm trying to lengthen my spine as best I can. And then as I exhale, I should feel my heels float to the floor a little bit better. I should feel my knees extend back. I should feel my hips be pulled up to the sky. Alright, now what I want you guys to do is now we're going to go back to the extended lizard. So bring your right foot out in front. Your right arm is going to be inside the right knee. Right, and usually what I like to do is take my right hand and place it on top of my right foot. So very dynamic again. What we're going to do is extend that left knee so the left knee is off the floor, and we're going to go straight into our rotation. So I'm extending, reaching up to the sky, rotating, and I'm reaching behind me. And remember, the rotation is always going into the leg that's in front. So if my right leg's in front, I'm only rotating to the right. Right, especially as I'm coming under. Remember, I'm trying to reach like I'm trying to scratch my back on the other side. Nice and easy. Focus on staying active on that backside. You should feel this in your hips. You should feel this in your hip flexors. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go right back into a downward dog. Nothing changes. Every time that we come back to these positions, you hopefully should feel a little bit more mobile. So it should feel like it's easier to extend the knees. It's easier to get the heels down to the floor. So push through those arms. Stay tall and long in the spine. Pull those hips up. I want to feel all that tension in the hamstrings, all that tension in the calves, and try to use your breath to relax into this position. So every time that you exhale, the long, deep exhales, you should feel the calves relax. You should feel the hamstrings relax. You should feel the glutes relax. Good. These are not going to be long holds. So if your arms get tired, continue to push through it. We're not going to be holding this for minutes on end. Generally just doing a minute per side, or a minute total. Good. Alright, nice and easy. Let's get yourself down from there. What we're going to do next is we're going to go seated. So you guys are going to be on the floor. You're going to go wide legs. So it's going to be kind of a lateral split with the legs. And I'm just going to go into a forward fold, right? So we've done this standing. This is going to be the seated variation. But what I want you guys to do is you're really trying to force the legs as far out as you can, but most importantly is pay attention to your feet. Pulling the toes up to the shins and kind of the toes out externally. So they're not pointing in, they're pointing out. And then with my arms, I'm going to have them out in front of me, but I'm going to try to do my best to try to stay tall in the position. So don't try to round and shorten the spine. Try to stay tall. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of flexion. This is totally okay. And then here, just because of the position alone, these are where we're going to really focus on these long breaths. So let's focus on this together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 4 in, 3 hold, 6 out. So inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. Good. And you should feel your spine, your hips, your inner thighs. You should feel them almost melt and relax with the breathing, right? So as you're exhaling, you're feeling your body soften up, right? This is a very, very passive stretch. We're not trying to be active. We're not trying to force this. You'll see over time that your chest will feel like it's getting a little bit closer to the ground, like your hands are getting farther away from the body. Naturally, your body's going to go into a little bit of flexion at the spine. Totally okay, as long as there's no pain there. And if you can, try to maybe even try to scoot those feet out a little bit more. Right? Go a little bit wider with your legs. Open up those hips as best you can. Good. Keep focusing on that breath. 4 in, 3 hold, 6 out. Good. So this is a long stretch, guys. We're holding this one for a few minutes here, so we're really focused on that breathing. If you start to feel uncomfortable, if you start to feel tight, understand that is totally normal, totally acceptable. Just try to do your best to let your breathing relax. Tell your body it's okay. Focus on the breath. Good, almost there, guys. Good, so nice and slowly, I want you to get yourself back upright, maybe even lean back by hands behind your back to support yourself. Bring the feet back in. Good, now what we're going to do is we're going to go, we call these crab reaches, and this is going to be something to kind of help promote some shoulder stability and also open up hip flexors and lats on the side that we're reaching on. So what I want you to do is you're going to go one hand down, screw it into the floor, and take the other arm and go up into a glute bridge and reach, rotate a little bit. Big stretch at the top here. So we're going to go 5 per side, 10 total, but nice and easy. But reaching, driving the hips up, open up that lats. The longer the arm is on top, the better here. Good, you guys are doing a great job. And remember, stay active with that bottom arm. You're pushing into the floor as hard as you can. If you do not push, you're not promoting that stability that we're trying to achieve here. So push into the floor. Externally rotate like you're screwing that hand into the floor. And then that top arm, all you're doing is you're just reaching up and trying to become very passive, but almost borderline active where I'm reaching away. All the active part is going to be on that bottom arm, not the top arm. Squeeze the glutes at the top, almost there. Big reach. Good. Alright guys, great job on that one. What we're going to do for this one now to kind of help open up hips, but most importantly open up thoracic spine and triceps, so a little bit more kind of this upper body here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go kind of back to a puppy dog pose, right, which we've done in previous videos. But what you're going to do is now you're going to take these arms and you're going to put them behind your back, almost pretend like you're getting handcuffed. So fists are touching, but you're kind of keeping the elbows down and the elbows close to the body. So you're going to feel a little bit of the stretch in the tricep. You're going to feel a stretch in the lats. You're going to feel a little bit of kind of, length in the spine here. Remember, the hips are not going to the heels. Actually, the hips are staying up in the sky. So this way allows us to promote more extension through the spine. And once again, this is just like the puppy dog pose. It's a great position to focus on your breathing. So deep inhales, but remember, as you're inhaling, not thinking about filling your chest up with air. You're trying to think about filling my stomach up with air, then my chest. Good. So I get my full body breath, and then this long exhale. And all this exhale is going to do, it's going to give you a chance to kind of let the muscles and let the joints and and let your position, more importantly, kind of melt almost, right? Like you should feel like you're sinking into this position a little bit easier with every breath. So every exhale, it's long, it's deep, but most importantly, you should feel the space between the vertebrae and the spine. You should feel the joints relax. You should feel the triceps relax, right? So focus on that breath. Long, controlled, deep breathing. Good. Last one, and we'll stand ourselves up. Alright guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to work on kind of just a bottom of a squat position, but we're going to get a little dynamic with kind of thoracic spine. So I want you to go to the bottom of your squat position, and then you're going to start to go through some T-spine rotation. So you're going to have right arm against the right knee, and then you're going to extend that left arm as far as you can go, and you're going to do vice versa. So we're trying to stay active on this squat position. So I know you guys can't see the back in this position, but we're trying to keep the back straight. And we're just going through a little bit of rotation. So this is going to open up chest, shoulders, things like that. Then after we finish our 5 per side, what I want you to do is take your hands and almost like put them under your feet. And then you're going to extend the knees back and then come right back down. So come into the squat position, and then I'm going to extend the knees back. So now I'm stretching on hamstrings, calves, lower back, and come back down to the squat. All right, so open up that bottom squat position, drive those knees back, so hamstrings, calves back, opening everything up. So this is very dynamic, right? And every time that you guys drive your knees back and you extend those legs, breathe out. Come back down. Good. And now what I want you to do, just to kind of finish up, is we're going to kind of stay in an active squat position, doing your best to try to keep the toes relatively straight, right? Keeping the knees over toes. What I actually like to do in the position I'm in right now is take my elbows and almost push my knees out. You're going to feel a little bit more of a stretch, kind of in the inner thigh. Stay in that active position as best you can. Right, remember, the position and the best way to be good at any position is spending time in these positions. So in order to prove these squat positions, you have to hang out in the squat more often. It's nice and easy, side to side. We're almost there for today. Good. Focusing on the breath. Deep, long breaths, elongating that spine with the inhale, sinking into the position with the exhale. Alright guys, nice and easy for today. Extend those legs, get yourself out of that squat position safely. As always, rebound. Don't be afraid to lay down, walk around. But that's it for today. Take care. Great job today.